fire analysis commentary on what's going on over there in the Strait of Hormuz, Persian Gulf conflict between United States, Iraq, how do I say Iraq, Iran, them two, and the Israelis. And so information is coming out that, Iran has been getting some gifts from the Chinese, that they have actually bought a satellite from the Chinese using, Chinese networks to spy on the United States. The bases over there in the Middle East, and so, and from what we understanding, that the Chinese was on their way to sending the Iranians a gift package of some air defense missiles, which all of that been thwarted. You understand? All of that has been snuffed, because people got to understand, people keep believing this garbage about what they hearing on the news. China is scared of the United States. Real talk. Let's just deal with that, because they got control over key sectors of, their economy, and that's real talk. We talking about before United States went down there, took over Venezuela, they was getting cheap oil out of Venezuela. They ain't getting it no more. And now that they got and you have to understand that when it comes to oil, when it comes to gas, China is resource poor. Another key area where China is resource poor is food. It's food. They have to import a lot of their food. They have to import almost 80% of their oil and their gas. So if somebody get in there and take over that market, that oil, which the United States have done, they is in trouble. You see, they is in trouble, and they don't really, people believe that, China don't want to see the United States out in the Persian Gulf. If they was that powerful, don't you think they would have got them out the South China Sea? Come on now, let's make that make sense. It was all planned. That's true. It is. It was all planned, because the United States is selling hella oil that they getting out of Venezuela. They own that oil. All while this was going on, Donald Trump was making billions under the table. He was making billions. Everybody talking about how he losing. You make a sound in the east and you strike in the west. You see, you make a sound in the east and you strike. While everybody over there looking at the Strait of Hormuz, ain't nobody talking about all them tankers going up and down the Atlantic, going to get that oil from the United States. They getting it straight out there because they didn't already move a lot of the oil to United States. So they pulling up down there. I believe, where do they go and get it? I don't know if it's in the Gulf of Mexico. I think it's in the Gulf of Mexico, where they can go down there and load up, so they down there loading up. Everybody over here talking about the Strait of Hormuz, and they over here making billions of dollars up under your nose, and for the period that the gas was up over $100, $110 a barrel, they over here killing the game. Killing the game. Now that they done made quick $200 billion, we're going to talk about how much they making billions on that oil. Billions weekly. They making billions, not millions, billions in 1 month. In 1 month. We're going to talk about that. Iran was making $13 billion. How long you think they're going to sit on that blockade before they throw the gates open? It ain't going to be long. It ain't going to be long. China filled up. So, they figured that, the United States was going to throw a blockade up there. So they kind of got some ships out of there early. See, that's what China, but see, China, might be they stockpile for about 2 months. But after, but it's still gonna get critical. It's gonna get critical. So they're gonna want that, they're gonna want Iran to go ahead and settle the beef. Nah, at the end of the day, peoples is talking about you know, who winning this. And it's quite obvious at this point because Iran ain't getting no ships out. So that leverage is over with. You understand? Their ships are not coming out of there. And people talking about that one little Chinese or two Chinese, man, they didn't sanction the shit out them ships. And matter of fact, to my understanding, even though they went out of here, my understanding, they had to return. They had to turn around and return. They already identified. Ain't no more came through since then. And they sanctioned the shit out of them damn ships. So it might not even be worth to even sell it anymore because they didn't sanction the hell out of the ship. It can't even come back through. You understand? If they see it anywhere on the open waterways, it's a wanted ship. Anywhere they see it, they gonna seize it, period. You want it. You understand? So understand that. So they ain't did nothing. And so since then, there has been no ship that didn't come, regardless of nationality. China, India, no ship has come through there. So y'all got to quit. This is you reaching for anything at this point. You're reaching for anything, but that's why China was trying to sneak and give Iran something because they understood this shit is chess. This shit is chess. They knocked down Venezuela because they getting ready to, and they're gonna make China tap before they even think about going to war because they figure even if they try to go to war with, and you have to understand, and this is why I brought this one up, and you gonna see if it's ever a conflict between the United States and Taiwan and the US over there, a lot of the same elements that's going down in this particular conflict is going to be going down in that particular conflict. You already know if China threatened Taiwan, they're going to put them damn mines out there. They're going to lace it with mines. You know what I'm saying? And both of them strategically got I guess you would call choke points, but the United States got more choke points than China, man. They got choke points all over there, coming through from Korea up to Japan to Guam, down to the Philippines, man. They got them surrounded over there. So China is not in no predicament to be sending nobody no threat over no damn Persian Gulf, and you can't even get the United States and its allies out of the damn South China Sea. You see? So let's stop all of this. So China understand, and China got a dilemma, that's going on now over there. They got dilemmas going on, but don't nobody check for Chinese news, which I do. They got dilemmas going on over there. Man, Xi Jinping's ass is under threat too over there. He's under threat. They've been trying to knock Xi Jinping ass off over there. That's why he had to get rid of his #1 military man, which they did about 2 months back. He had to get rid of his top military man. That's like getting rid of the Secretary of Defense because they said that he was trying to undermine Xi Jinping. So they saying that Xi Jinping over there, he trying to consolidate power like he the emperor. And they ain't feeling that. A lot of them old head fat over there, they ain't feeling Xi Jinping trying to become emperor over there. So they feeling, so they trying, you say, bro, they winning? How's they winning? You explain that to me. I tell you what, well, you can have that win. You had that win because at the end of the day, is any ships coming? How they winning? Explain that to me. If you was getting all that oil, explain to me how you winning. Because I don't want that kind of win. You can have that kind of win. No, there's gonna be no reparations. United States is not paying no Iran no 200, man. Where you getting your damn information from, man? Out the comic books? Where is you getting your information? You got to stay off of Nickelodeon News, man. You on Nickelodeon News. Yeah, you got to you on Nickelodeon Cartoon Network News. You got to stop going over there. No. You don't know what you're talking about. They starving over there, man. They starving. They starving. At the end of the day, when Iran come up off of that, that's going to explain everything to me. Okay? At the end of this, if Iran come up off that uranium, that's going to explain the whole goddamn concept. I ain't going to argue no in-betweens or none of that shit. Okay? At the end of the day, if they come up off that uranium, that's going to tell you who won the deal. Okay? Point blank. Because if they got the upper hand, they ain't got to come up off of nothing. You understand? If they got the upper hand, they shouldn't have to stop enrichment. They shouldn't have to come up off the uranium. They got the upper hand. But if they come up off of that uranium and they agree to not enrich, boom, that's the end of the conversation. Boom, it's over with. We know who won. Boom. Because ain't no motherfucker that win gonna concede shit to a loser. A motherfucker that win ain't gonna concede shit to a loser. If I kick your ass, you ain't getting shit from me. I could tell you that. If I kick your ass, you ain't getting shit from me. I could tell you that. Okay, a winner don't concede shit to a loser. So if you see them come up off of that uranium and agree to stop enriching, I tell you that right there is gonna tell you who won. I'm not looking up shit. I'm looking at the end result. I'm not, all these goddamn networks is saying a whole lot of shit. I don't want to hear none of it because I see it. Okay, I see it. All right. And ain't no ships coming through there. Ain't no ships coming through there. Okay. Nah, if they winning, we'll see. At the end of the day. Yeah. Yeah. Let me get this shit. Bingo. There you go. Yeah, look at you. Yeah. Got me one out of there. Yeah, that's there. But anyway, family, we got a lot of videos. We in and out. The Chinese saying they about to stop because they're gonna squeeze they little oil. And so we're gonna move into the next video. Y'all make sure y'all get over there to Patreon, family. We got 6 videos for the newcomers that's there. They hot. These is fire videos. Get over there for the newcomers. If you come over to, you already got 600, but you can't tap into all of them, but you got 6 fresh ones, and you probably got a treasure chest of about 75 videos you could get just by joining. Get over there and get them joints, them 5 joints over there. This is General Seti, and I'll be right back. Black Power.